Hey guys, good morning. What is up? Derek from Bomb Socks here. Good to be with you on another exciting episode of Bomb Bites. We're here to help you feast upon the words of Christ, and we're going to do it one bite at a time. So today we're continuing Abinadi's message to King Noah's people. Again, yesterday, those 3 words which he said, except they repent, should have brought them confidence and should have brought them comfort. But because they were unwilling to listen and to change, it just brought them that anger that, again, they felt like they were being judged by him. In fact, he goes in chapter 12 after they had read these Old Testament verses to him about, you're supposed to speak unto us nice things. You're a prophet of God. And he pauses. He goes into chapter 12, and it's in verse 25. He says, so are you guys priests and you pretend to teach these people? And if you're teaching these things to them, then surely you should be following them yourselves as well. Verse 26, for if ye understand these things, you haven't taught them. Verse 27 has got one of the coolest phrases, which we're going to focus on. Ye have not applied your hearts to understanding. Now that's a great phrase right there. He's saying, look, if you guys know these things, I'll tell you what, you sure have not done anything about it. He goes in and they're like, well, we teach the law of Moses. And he goes, again, if you're teaching the law of Moses, then you guys sure aren't following it. And he goes in and he gives them a wonderful lesson on the 10 Commandments. In fact, rather than have me just share it with you, I'm going to show you the video that the church put together. It's just a little couple-minute clip right here. And I love the way the church does this and the way they show Abinadi teaching these wicked priests of King Noah. So watch this and we'll come back and finish it off.
And now I give unto you the remainder of the commandments of God. For I perceive that they are not written in your hearts. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. Have you taught this people that they should observe to do all these things for to keep these commandments? Behold, I say unto you, nay. For if ye had, the Lord would not have caused me to come forth and to prophesy evil concerning his people.
I love how they portray Abinadi in here. And again, Arnold Freeberg painted him as an older man. We just don't know that. So I like the way they portrayed him in this one. And I love how when he says, honor thy father and thy mother, he turns right to King Noah, who he knew had righteous parents. And so again, I love that message right there. He's like, look, if you guys are teaching these things, then why aren't you doing them? And in chapter 13, he says this. He says, verse number 11, he says, now I read unto you the remainder of the commandments. And you saw that. For I perceive that they are not written in your hearts. So again, in the previous chapter, he says, you haven't applied your hearts to understanding. And this one, they are not written in your hearts. And again, we talked about this in the past little bit, of what it looks like to have Christ's word written in your hearts. When I think about this, I can't tell you the number of times I have sat through seminary lessons. I've done it for almost 25 years. And we hear the phrase, and again, I don't think this is a bad phrase at all, but we hear the phrase, please help us to take this lesson and apply it into our daily lives. And I've heard that phrase a lot. And again, there's nothing wrong with that phrase. In fact, I appreciate it. But it's when I have a student, and again, not all of them do this, but again, I'll have a student who will give a prayer and then they'll just go right down to their desk and start playing on their phone. Or I think we're all guilty of doing that at certain points in our lives where we want that application, but we're not willing to do anything about it. Which is why I love the roots of the song, I Am a Child of God. Many of you are very familiar with this. You know, it's an iconic song in our church. The whole lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with him someday. And many of you are aware, the words used to be, when they were originally written by Naomi Randall, She had lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way, teach me all that I must know to live with him someday, which again, that's a great phrase. But President Spencer W. Kimball, wonderful President Spencer W. Kimball, kindly approached Sister Randall and said, there's one thing that I would change, and we will change it from know to do. Just like King Benjamin said, if you know these things, see that you do them, which is why we now have teach me all that I must do to live with him someday. So these King Noah's priests, they knew things. I imagine a lot of these guys have been taught in their households by their parents, but they were choosing not to do anything about it. You can teach stuff all day long, but until you do it, that's when it really becomes applied and written in your hearts. Anyway, I know that message is true. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for sharing, and keep doing these things that we've talked about. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.